Welcome to Down for the Count, where we create top 10 lists of the greatest things in life and count them down slowly, one item per episode, savoring every last morsel of top 10 goodness. Are you ready?
Michael.
Yes, sir.
I have a story that's going to blow your mind. I just know it.
All right, hold on. Let me sit. Let me get
my
special helmet on that will keep my mind from blowing.
Yep.
All right.
You've got the non-blow hat on.
That's
there.
right. Yes.
This is a really fascinating story that inspired centuries of conspiracy theories and debate and conjecture. I'm going to tell you this story, so keep that cap on really tight, all right?
Hold on.
Yep.
Okay. Good to go.
The year is 1776. We know that year.
Yeah, some country was founded.
It's an important year. American history. It's there was a fellow named Adam Weishaupt, and he was a law professor in Bavaria.
The Bavarians.
The Bavarians.
Make great cream donuts.
Delicious. And he lived during, 18th century was the Enlightenment. And they promoted, it was a time of promoting reason and science and secular thinking.
Kind of like today.
Except not even a little bit. They wanted to reduce church influence over education and government, and they opposed absolute monarchy. So pretty, basically the principles that the United States was founded on in a lot of ways.
Yes.
So this dude, Adam, he started a group called the Bavarian Illuminati. So they were sort of like Enlightenment nerds. They were people who like to get together and talk about what's going on in the world, and they discuss philosophy and books and philosophers. And there were maybe 1,000 or a couple of thousand people.
Eventually.
I
mean, it really started much less than that.
Started small, and it snowballed. It eventually got to be a couple thousand. And, they wrote a book, and they had meetings, and they had really fascinating discussions. The Bavarian authorities were not psyched.
Because they were very heavy on the religious stuff.
They were heavy on the religious
stuff. Very heavy
stuff.
on the Christians being the best.
They were saying, enlighten this. Okay?
I got your enlightenment right
I got
here.
You right here, tough guy.
For some reason, the Christians in ancient the 18th century Bavaria sounded like a bunch of Italian wise guys.
Hey! So the authorities viewed them as politically dangerous. And the group was outlawed in the 1780s, and the members were exposed and arrested. And the group disbanded, and the organization was done. And that's it. End of story.
Yep, that's it. It was a good podcast.
Yeah. See
yeah, exactly.
So is your mind blown? How blown is your mind?
Not really.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone has kind of heard of the Illuminati.
Yeah.
But I think it has just evolved into such more than it was. I guess if my mind would be blown.
That's the understatement. Yeah.
Mine would be blown. It would be, that's it.
Yeah.
And that is indeed it.
That is
the
indeed
story,
it.
In theory, should have ended right there.
That's what happened.
And even more so.
Yep.
The guy, Adam Weishaupt, was basically his parents were Jewish and converted to Christianity, which kind of, I think, indirectly plays into a lot of the, the Jews around the world and all this kind of conspiracy thinking.
Yes.
By the way, remember in the last episode, I had said we need to come up with a different word to conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Because they're so cockamamie.
Right.
They're not really theories. They shouldn't be given the scientific heft of a theory.
Right. Yeah.
So I was coincidentally.
They shouldn't be dignified with the word theory.
Correct.
Yeah.
I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about, not specifically about conspiracies, but just its role in current politics and things like that. and they called it conspiracy thinking
Ooh.
or conspiracy belief.
Okay.
I very much like either of those things. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try to not use the term conspiracy
Yeah.
theory and talk about conspiracy belief.
Yeah.
Because I think that's more accurate.
I'd also like to put out there, and we don't have to use conspiracy baloney. I'm just putting it on the table
Conspiracy baloney?
just for us to look at and ponder.
Conspiracy dogs?
Conspiracy dogs.
Because it's got all kinds of,
All
lips
kinds of
and anus and
anus,
stuff in
so many-
there. Just it's
so
all,
many anuses.
however, so delicious.
So delicious.
So we
good.
can't sully the
Yeah.
good name of baloney
Yes.
with conspiracy.
Yeah, fair
So
point.
so
Fair
at
point.
any rate,
Yeah.
the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Their story does not end there, sir.
That's incredible.
Even though their real story ended.
Yeah.
The story in the Zeitgeist,
Yeah.
another German word,
Mhm.
I'm assuming because it sounds that way.
Mhm.
Basically, it was in 1797, kind of around 1797, 1798. One of the original founders of the Illuminati, he basically produced a memoir, or maybe not one of the founders, but one of the original guys. Kind of produced. It came out and basically was like this connected to this, and they connected it to the French Revolution. So it was
Right.
kind of like the first time that the Illuminati were the ones that helped overthrow the French government.
In their minds.
In
yeah.
their minds.
Yeah.
Yes. Of
Right.
course,
Yeah.
I
Right.
shouldn't have to preface this,
Right,
what I'm
right.
going to say with this.
Allegedly.
None of
Yeah.
what I'm going to say is actually true. This
Right.
is what has been said.
Right.
It doesn't mean it happened.
Right.
Understand?
Because listeners cannot see the dick quotes, but
Exactly.
they are being used
It was
liberally.
more the patronizing. I had my hand up by my face with the
Right.
microphone and I
Right.
was going back and forth.
There you
That's
go.
what you have to kind of.
That's what you got to do.
That's
these
what you
days.
have to do. So, basically, it was the first conspiracy theory.
Mhm.
That's quotes. That's why I'm
Yeah.
still saying it.
Yeah.
In 1797, the Jesuit priest Abbé Augustin Baruel wrote a 4-part history of the French Revolution, to which he attributed to the secret work of the Illuminati and the Freemasons.
Yeah.
Freemasons kind of developed parallel to the Illuminati.
Yeah.
And they're
Existed
both-
before the
existed way
Illuminati.
before,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
the Illuminati took a lot of the Freemasons kind of thing of like, if you remember the Stonecutters
Yeah.
from The Simpsons,
Right.
it's very much Freemason
Mhm.
stuff. They have levels. They had all these things.
Right.
I mean, the Illuminati was a kind. Yes, they were all about enlightenment, but they were kind of a bananas group.
Yeah.
I mean, it was basically Scientology, but for the enlightened.
Yeah.
So
Illuminati bananas was
yes,
there.
exactly.
People in the know.
Yes. So anyway, this kind of came to that, and then these works kind of made their way to the United States, to New England, and it was, it's just, by this time, the U.S. has only been a independent country for 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
And the governments are thinking it's like, oh, okay, well, it's the French Revolution. Maybe there'll be another revolution in the U.S.
Yeah.
All of this kind of, and so it just took hold.
Yeah.
That there was, if this kind of information can travel the Atlantic
Yeah.
in the 18th century,
Yep.
then of course it must be real.
You're right.
Because why else would someone write about it
If
it
you've
wasn't
got something
real?
that can't be explained, you need a secretive, covert, interesting solution.
Because no one had invented the term "shit happens."
Shit happens.
If
Yeah.
someone had, they'd have
Right.
been like, "Well, I guess it
Shit
happens.
happens,
Stuff
yeah.
happens."
Yeah.
So, but since they didn't, conspiracy thinking was born.
Right. I'll also say even earlier is Thomas Jefferson was accused of being part of the Illuminati, which is kind of nuts. I mean, you can take the basic principles that I discussed earlier, reason, science, and secular thinking, and say, well, Thomas Jefferson believes those things, so therefore he must be Illuminati.
That's someone
And-
who believes in reason and truth
Right.
is someone who's against the government.
Yeah.
That's
You can make an accusation against somebody, baseless,
sorry,
and it can be believed.
Well, of
so
course.
very easily.
Yes, I mean, especially nowadays,
Of course.
But this is, I mean, I guess human psychology has not changed.
No.
It is. Everyone is much louder.
Yeah.
Everyone has a voice.
Yeah.
Whereas in the late 1700s, your voice, you could only be heard by people that could physically hear you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Reading a newspaper
I mean, but the average person couldn't
Right.
get in the newspaper.
Right.
That was not how
Right.
it worked back
Hey,
then.
Martha, can you hear me over there? Jefferson's in the Illuminati.
That's what I heard just moments ago when you said it. So, because then after that, I mean, people stopped believing in the Illuminati.
Yeah.
I mean, after they realized that, the American Revolution was not underwritten by the Illuminati and things were, I mean, because nowadays people still don't believe in it, correct?
Kind of. Yeah.
Well, then how did it kind of come to be?
Yeah.
Like hundreds of years later, how is the word Illuminati still a thing?
It persisted. People kept this idea alive. If you have a secret society that is known and it builds a reputation and people will remember it, it's easy to remember. It's got symbols. That's easy to remember. It's got the all-seeing eye.
It's got the pretty pictures.
Pretty pictures. It's got the all-seeing eye, just like on the dollar bill on the back, which is a symbol of the United States. It's God's all-watchful eye.
Right.
And that came to be understood as the Illuminati watching everyone, which was not the intention at all. So the point being is that when you've got a symbol, something that is powerful, easy to remember, that thing is going to persist more easily. So something like the Illuminati...
Then the belief in God.
Then the belief in God. Something like the Illuminati is like butter. It just is so easy to remember, so easy to believe in, so easy to attribute mysterious things to. It's just one of those things that is just fun to imagine that there's somebody behind the curtain pulling all of the strings.
Because it just goes back, and we'll get to how it came back into the more modern
Yep.
World in a moment. But it just goes back to that, that psychology of it that we've been constantly thinking about.
Yep.
With Bigfoot and, and everything.
Elvis.
With
Yep.
Elvis and all that. Just that if you don't believe it, you're one of them.
Right.
You're that's what they want you to believe.
Right.
It's that it's you can't prove me wrong
You cannot disprove it.
because
yeah.
if you could, everybody would know about it.
Right.
With that, and it's crazy how and it's actually been studied. It's
Yeah. This is how our minds work.
well
Is we like to create meaning
yes
out of
you like to see
things that are
patterns
unknown.
where things don't exist.
Right. Right.
Now most people should realize that they're doing that, and they can go, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
this is just what happens.
Right.
And it's because there's always something where something real will happen, where there's some kind of CIA plot that gets foiled or something like that, and it's like, see, And it's like, well, yeah, that's the one out of the 100 that you think
Right.
is that's happening, but it's crazy. It's literal crazy town.
It's crazy town.
Yeah. So in what did we say? 1965.
Yeah, and so it was relatively dormant for a long time until recently, if you want to say 1965 is recent. I mean, it was when our parents were growing
Our parents
up.
were in their,
Yeah, it was the
in their
previous
teens.
generation
Yeah,
or
so
three
yeah.
generations,
Yeah.
depending on how old you are. Not that long ago that it really became sort of front and center in our consciousness again because of these dudes, these two guys.
Yeah, this so this guy Kerry Thornley. He had written a book called The Principia Discordia. It basically created a parody religion called Discordia.
Yeah.
And it advocated hoaxes and misinformation. Like
Right.
it was basically just satire about, people's beliefs in religion and how it's made up and all this kind of thing.
Right. They on purpose they put a bunch of these conspiracy thinking
these kind of things in there because this is what the religion was for.
Right,
Was
right.
espousing conspiracy theories.
Right.
So there was a writer at Playboy magazine, Robert Anton Wilson, who was friends with this Kerry Thornley guy, and they basically wrote stories of it in Playboy magazine.
Yeah.
Like just making up, saying it was the Illuminati that did blah, 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 just satire.
Yeah.
Supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
And it was because it was supposed to make fun of people who had conspiratorial type thinking.
Right.
And people, and then kind of from that, there were these two authors. Well, the Wilson and this other writer, Robert Shea, produced the Illuminatus trilogy of books.
Yeah.
And it's Illuminatus. It has like an exclamation point in the middle of the title. Like, so that's how you know how bananas it is. And it's satire, postmodern science fiction. There's magic involved, and they basically apply the Illuminati to all of these things that happened in history.
Right.
And people bought it.
And you couldn't say no, that didn't happen because you can't disprove it.
Because you can't unless you had a time machine and can go back.
Yeah.
But even if you could, you'd be like, well, how would you ever know that was not true?
It's so convenient. The explanation is so very easy.
Literally, the truth is stranger than fiction.
Yes. Yes.
Or people believe the truth to be stranger than fiction, I should say.
Are you up for the top 5 Illuminati assertions?
Oh, yeah. Let me hear it.
So number 1, the biggest one you hear is the Illuminati secretly runs the world.
Well, duh.
Banks, wars, media, governments, it's all controlled by a hidden elite. The problem with this theory is there's absolutely no evidence whatsoever.
And
you think there would be a shred of it? There's no documents.
And
There's
to what end?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Why? Why would they have to do this? I mean, there's already plenty of billionaires out there.
Yeah.
The things just happen. Like, why does there need to be some grand kind of thing that is orchestrating all this? Plus, do you know how complicated that would be? I mean, you've seen our government do stuff.
Yeah.
They can barely tie their shoes.
Yeah.
Let alone run all of this stuff, unless you're thinking it's like, well, they're incompetent because they're not the ones actually running everything.
Yeah.
It's the Illuminati that does it.
Even
Wait,
if you want
I
to
just convince myself that the Illuminati exists.
I mean, even if you stretch your imagination as far as it will go and say, yeah, there's a small number of elites who are somehow banded together to control everything over the course of centuries, you would think that there would be a membership list,
and
there would be a receipt, there would be a phone call, there would be some shred of evidence.
And never slipped. Never.
Yeah.
In 250 years.
They're that good.
Just never slipped.
Yep. Number 2, they survived for hundreds of years in secret, which is kind of part of it. That they never really disbanded. They just went underground.
That the 2 guys that they arrested were just the sacrificial lambs, and they did it on purpose so that they could obfuscate the reality that they were just like, all right, well, now we can get down to business because they think we're gone.
Of course. Human groups don't work like that. There's going to be splintering,
and even
internal conflict, paperwork.
And even the history of the Illuminati.
Yeah.
They have all of their paperwork.
Yeah.
They have what all of the levels were. They did all this stuff. And no one ever really got motivated enough to go beyond level 1.
Yeah.
Nobody. And in fact, the 2 guys who started it, they got into huge fights like all the time about it. Which, when you think of intelligent people, They're not going to agree
Right.
on a lot of stuff, especially very opinionated, intelligent people.
Let alone for hundreds of years.
Hundreds
keeping
of
it
years.
Secret to the point. But, I mean, to control a war.
And it's not like today where, yes, you could say, okay, well, we put all of our paperwork on this USB drive that I smuggled out of the country. You know, they would have had volumes of books
Yeah.
that they would have had to carry all this around in.
Hey, listen.
Not that stuff is easy to hide.
If you're somebody who wants to believe really far-fetched conspiracy thinking and will allow yourself to believe but are not super interested in evidence, the Illuminati is for you. It is for you. Number 3, celebrities signal Illuminati membership with symbols. So there's this quote, semi-famous photograph of Jay-Z giving a sign that looks like a triangle. It's almost like an upside-down heart. And people said, "Oh, well, that's clearly the Illuminati. That's the all-seeing eye." It goes to show he's a member of the Illuminati. And he to a photographer, he just said, "You know what? Let me mess with that.
I'm going to just do this.
I'm just going to do this thing."
But then again, it's like, why would he be a member of the Illuminati?
Right.
Nothing against Jay-Z.
Right.
But like, how is he going to, like, what is he going to contribute to controlling the world?
Right.
And you look at billionaires, they're constantly in competition with each other.
Right.
You think they're going to work together to do anything?
There's no shot.
You think like Bezos and Musk and Ellison and all these, guys are going to work together?
Yeah.
No, they want to win. They
Of
want to be the
course.
guy at the top.
Of course.
Yeah. The top of the pyramid with the eye.
Number 4, which we kind of covered, the all-seeing eye in the dollar proves it. Now, it's called the Eye of Providence, is what it's actually called. It's an Illuminati calling card. It predates modern conspiracy culture. It has a documented religious meaning. I mentioned it earlier. And it represents divine guidance, this idea that there's a known being,
It's the Eye of Providence, Rhode Island.
that's true. Yeah. There's a message in there that if you read it backwards, it'd say, if you have a state that small, why bother?
Right.
And
then it says, go to Brown.
Yeah. I mean, when you'd have a map of the country and you need to just point to it and then show the name of the state in the Atlantic Ocean, you're too small.
Exactly. Yeah. It has 2 words. What's going on?
I guess Connecticut.
And one of them's not even north or south or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess Connecticut and Delaware
It's
would
not
also...
even an island. I mean, come on.
It's not even an island.
No.
Come on, Rhode Island.
Come
Get
on.
with it.
I mean, Long Island is bigger than Rhode Island, and it's actually an island.
And it's actually an island, and it had the good taste to be part of a state.
That's right.
So you don't even need to call it a state.
I think it's the Illuminati.
It's
They were like, you know what? We can't just have 49 states.
You can't just no.
We needed to be not 50, so we'll carve out a little bit of Connecticut,
Right.
and then we'll just call it Rhode Island.
Of course, it was like in the top 10 states, but
That's what the Illuminati want you to
that's
think.
what they want you to
That's
believe.
what they want you to think.
That's what they want you to believe.
You and Betsy Ross, mister.
Number 5, the lack of evidence proves how secret they are. That might be my favorite one. See,
So, because you never heard of it, that's why it exists.
it makes the theory unfalsifiable, so evidence is proof. No evidence is proof, and denial is also proof. Now, once a belief cannot be disproven, it also cannot be taken seriously. And that's what it comes down to. Is if you're saying the lack of evidence is proof, you just need to move along. You just need to let the next guy go.
Now, I can't tell you anything about it.
Yeah.
That's why we know everything about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, if you want to believe crazy ideas and you have no interest in evidence, the Illuminati is for you. It is your group. So, welcome aboard.